All right, guys, the next section of our notes that we're going to be going through is order of operations. In order to do any problem that has to do with order of operations, we need to know what the order of operations are, obviously. So we have PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's an acronym to help us remember what the order of operations are and what each letter represents. Let's start with our P. P is going to represent parentheses. Let's write that underneath. Parentheses. I also want you to write or grouping symbols. So what this means is whenever we see some sort of grouping symbol, we're going to make sure that we attack that part of the problem first, or expression first. Some grouping symbols that you might see other than parentheses, so we have our parentheses, are brackets, absolute value bars, square roots. Those are all parts of parentheses. So if you see any of those, that is a grouping symbol and you should treat it like it is a parenthesis. All right, let's look at our second letter, E, exponents. All right, exponents, we know what those are. I don't think I have to go into too much more discussion about that. After exponents, we have multiplication and division. Something specific about multiplication and division is that we have to work this from left to right. Next, we have addition and subtraction. And with addition and subtraction, we also do that from left to right. All right, so far so good. I have two examples here below, and we're going to use the order of operations to solve them. Now, in order to solve any problem, I'm going to make sure I have a calculator handy. So let me get that first. And I need to make sure that I follow the order of operations. Looking at my first example, parentheses or grouping symbols. I don't see any parentheses, any grouping symbols anywhere, which means I'm moving on to E, exponents. I can see there's an exponent right here. So in my calculator, I'd put in 4 squared. And I know that 4 squared is going to be 16. So I'm going to bring that down. I'm also going to bring down everything else exactly as it is right now. So 128 divided by, that is simplified, times 2 minus 7. So far, so good. So parentheses, exponents, no more exponents here. So I'm going to move on to multiplication and division. I notice there's division here, multiplication here, and subtraction here. Since I can do multiplication and division from left to right, I'm going to start here. 128 divided by 16. Let's put that in our calculator. That gives me 8. I'm going to bring that down right here and bring everything else down. All right. We still have some multiplication or division right here, multiplication. So we want to make sure I do that before the addition and subtraction. So I know that 8 times 2 is going to give me 16. Bring down your minus 7. All right, I have one step left. Obviously, it's subtraction. So 16 minus 7 is going to give me 9. So far, so good. Let's look at one more example that has some grouping symbols so we can apply those rules. All right. Example 2. We're going to start and look at parentheses. We have 2 sets of grouping symbols in here. The first is our parentheses, and then the second is the brackets. So when you have 2 sets, you're going to start at the very middle, and you're going to work your way out. So since these parentheses are inside the brackets, I'm gonna start right here. Now it's asking me to take 5 and subtract 2 cubed. Well, I can't do that because I don't know what 2 cubed is. So I need to make sure that I simplify this first in order to do the operation inside my parentheses. So let me bring down everything else and I'll substitute 2 cubed in for 8. Now I knew that 2 cubed was 8, but typically I definitely encourage you to use your calculator there. All right, so we simplify this exponent. Let's now simplify what's inside those parentheses right there. I'm gonna bring down everything else. And 5 minus 8 is -3. All right, so far so good. Now, I've gotten rid of that parentheses inside my brackets. It's still there, but it doesn't really do anything. It's not really telling me anything right now. It's not telling me to multiply or anything. All it's saying is that I need to, inside the brackets, add 13 plus a -3. That's the same as saying 13 minus 3, which I know is 10. All right, all of my grouping symbols are gone. I have no exponents. So now I'm gonna do multiplication and division from left to right. So I see that I have 3 times 10, because whenever a number is on the outside, I know I wanna multiply by what's on the inside, and 3 times 10 is 30. Bring down your divided by 6. Last but not least, I'm going to divide, and 30 divided by 6 is gonna give me 5. All right, we're all done. Notice that I took my time with every single step. I carried everything else down and I didn't do more than one step at a time. That is extremely important with order of operations to make sure you don't make any mistakes. Thanks so much, guys. I hope that helped. Thank you for tuning in.